What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're gonna talk about the trade that just happened. Breaking news: Timofey mozgov is moved again, and also bismack Biyombo signed that enormous extension with Orlando Magic, and his time, just like Serge Ibaka, is gone. To me, Orlando has no identity. They have no direction. They're just trying to find somebody, and they haven't been able to find the guy. They have nobody on this roster I'm willing to build around. I like Fournier. I like Vucevic, but they're not franchise guys. They're more complementary players, and they don't have that franchise guy. They've been trying to find it since they lost Dwight Howard, and they haven't even became close to doing that. Obviously, the Bulls get Julian. He's a guy that most likely he's going to be a bench player, or he's going to get waived for salary cap, which they don't really need anyway because they're not going to do anything with their cap because they haven't been able to get a big name free agent for a while, and they just signed Zach LaVine to $80 million. So they got to say they cap from Laurie Marketing and possibly Chris Dunn, depending on how he plays. And they have to continue to build the future. There's no point of rushing the development and the growth at the end of the day. But also, mozgov is getting moved around too. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I like mozgov. I told you guys I liked this trade for the Cleveland Cavaliers when they got him. Obviously, mozgov is like a Vucevic. He's a guy that can post up. He's a guy that can knock down jumpers. He's a guy that can knock down free throws at a good enough percentage for a center, or above average for a center. He lost a lot of his energy and a lot of his athleticism when he broke his foot and his knees. He's never been the same after those injuries, and he hasn't been able to get minutes. He got some small amount of minutes. He hasn't been able to get significant minutes at all. And I feel like that really been hurting his career after that injury. People just don't trust him. He just haven't had the explosiveness. His defense just ain't the same. When he went to Cleveland, he changed the team because they didn't have size. They didn't have the finesse game. They didn't have somebody that can anchor that paint. Tristan Thompson is a good rebounder. He's a physical guy, but he wasn't anchoring that paint the way mozgov was. And mozgov was a more of a versatile player because of his outside and soft touch. But after that injury, he stopped getting playing times with the Cavaliers. They let him walk basically for nothing. He gets picked up, and now he's just being a journeyman, just going around just as salary cap filler for trades. And I still think mozgov got something left in the tank, but I wouldn't do it for the Magic. This team is not going in the right direction. I doubt that the Magic will keep mozgov, and if they do get him, they're just going to use him to. I mean, if they do keep him, they're just going to let him stay long enough because his contract is over at 2020, I believe. And he becomes a free agent, so he comes off your cap. So it's not a bad trade considering that the Magic needs as much cap if they want to get a free agent. That's a max contracts guy. They're going to need as much cap space as they can. Plus, they got to be able to sign their players. They gave Vucevic a couple million. They gave Fournier extension, and they just extended Aaron Gordon. So at the end of the day, Bismack is a long-term contract. He's a contract that they rushed to give. They thought he'd be the answer. They thought that he finally has found a role when he played with the Raptors, and he really was fool's gold. He had a good series, showed basically what he could do and what he should have been doing his whole career, and they took a gamble on getting him. But this contract with Biyombo, I thought was one of the more untradeable contracts in the NBA. And he was able to actually get traded to Charlotte, the place where he started at. They thought he would be the next big thing, the next big center they can anchor their defense around. Remember, Steve Clifford was able to anchor a defense around Al Jefferson, who never been known as a lockdown defender, has never been known as a rim protector, never been known as a dominant inside anchor. And they wanted that to be Bismack Biyombo, and he never was able to do that. Now, I don't know why would they want him back, considering that he's still got a couple more years left on that contract, and he isn't a superstar. He isn't the guy that we want him to be. He is undersized. Bismack is not as big as people may think. He is. He's actually a 6'9" center. He's 255 pounds. That's not even that big either when you're going against 7-footers. And the fact that he has no offensive game, no pull-up game, no threes, no floor spacing. He just a set screen guy and roll to the rim. But he's not an elite defender. Like I said, he's not the anchor, and you can't build a defense around him. And now that they have new coaching staffs and everything in this team, I want to see what the Charlotte Hornets are trying to do. You get Mitch Kupchak, to me, one of the better GMs. I like him, but the thing about this is, where does this let the team go in the future? You let go of Dwight Howard. I'd rather have Dwight Howard than Bismack Biyombo, especially because Dwight Howard was on a better contract, and he actually was on a tradable contract. No wonder they was able to trade him for 2 second-round picks. I feel like this team should have been rebuilding. I feel like this team should go look in a different direction. Kemba hasn't been able to lead them to a playoff berth with a victory. And even if they won a series, I honestly don't think this would change. He's getting closer to 30. This team has been mediocre at best. Yes, they made the playoffs, but at the end of the day, they didn't really do anything, and nobody thought they'd be even better in the future. They committed a lot of money to people like Jeremy Lamb, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and even Kemba Walker. $12 million a year was a deal. That was a steal because he was playing at an all-star level and giving you 20 points a game on a $12 million contract, which is ridiculous considering that he was an all-star, and he might not even get a big payday going into free agency next year. But if you're not going to build around Kemba, I don't think you should anyway, because he's not a franchise player. He's more of a third or fourth option on a great team, on a championship team. He's not going to be your best player. On a mediocre team, he can be your best player, but we have seen that he hasn't got them that far, and they are deprived of talent. They haven't been able to get any big name free agents. They haven't been able to hit on none of their draft picks, which really put them in a deep bind in the hole, because they haven't been able to get a franchise guy since they've been able to start. Kemba is the closest thing they was able to get. Gerald Wallace was one of the closest things they was able to get, but none of those guys was ever a franchise dominant, crazy carrying team player. Yes, Kemba and them had stretches where they can take over, but you can say that about any player. Kemba has been one of the more consistent players over the last couple of years. I wouldn't say in the beginning of his career, but over the last couple of years, he has been one of the more consistent players and a guy that can give you 20 and 6 easily. And I think that if it was more openness for point guards, that he would be a hot commodity. But seeing that a lot of teams have the point guard position filled, or has a guy that they feel that can develop into a superstar or just be a starting point guard, then it really has destroyed Kemba trade possibilities and his free agent possibilities. Yes, it is teams out there that would like him. Yes, there are teams that will go for him, and he might even have a 6-man role. I can see him coming off the bench and running that second unit, torching the bench guys, getting hot and getting fire on. But I think this trade changes nothing. It doesn't make Orlando better because they're not going to keep Mozgov long term. It doesn't fit the Hornets better because Biyombo has really been a bust and a player that even with Charlotte they could not get the best out of his potential. They basically gave up on him when they let him walk in free agency, and so did Toronto. He had that miraculous couple games in the playoffs. They let him walk. They had no intentions of re-signing him. He signs a huge deal with Orlando, and now they was able to get rid of that contract to give him back to Charlotte. I think this is a step backwards for the Charlotte Hornets, but I'm still not going to judge it as a stupid or horrible trade until I see what they're trying to do. They rushed to get rid of Dwight Howard. Then they bring in Bismack. They bring in Tony Parker. It looks like they're trying to rescope this team on the fly. But then again, what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to become a playoff team, a perennial playoff team since the East got weaker? Or you're trying to go all in on what? I want to know the rest of the moves they make. I want to know what else they're going to do before I judge this trade. Like I said, all the players in this trade really ain't going to do anything significant. It really ain't going to be a significant part of the team. And most of these players won't be on the team 3 to 4 years from now anyway. I just feel like this is for salary cap. I feel like this is for a need that Charlotte wanted. And I feel like this is just a person that Chicago going to try out or waive. And then they're going to move on with their young nucleus and young core. None of these players are long-term or permanent solutions. And at the end of the day, we're going to see why Charlotte Hornets really wanted Bismack, who played his last 2 seasons with the Orlando Magic, and his career high was 6 points, and he got 22 minutes. He shot good from the field, but all he's doing is layups and dunks. He was able to give you 7 rebounds in 22 minutes. That's impressive. And then he was able to give you 5 rebounds in 18 minutes, which is impressive. So he can rebound that ball. He can give you 1 to 2 blocks a game, but he's going to give you a lot of fouls, a lot of inconsistency, and he has a size disadvantage. He's not big enough. He's not tall enough to really make a dominant impact, and he hasn't never done that throughout his career, so I'm not going to really be expecting him to do that now. So let me know what you guys think about this trade. Do you think it was stupid? Do you think you like it? Do you think, the purpose of why they did this thing? Do you think the Charlotte made the right decision? Do you think the Bulls did the right decision getting rid of that cap and getting a player that can try out? Or do you feel like, hey, Mozgov is the sleeper like he was in that Cavs trade, and he really helped them out and helped them get to the finals? But at the same time, he hasn't been the same with that injury, and so I don't really think he's going to be there that long with obviously the Orlando Magic. So check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my t-shirts on my Facebook page. The link will be in the description in the comment section below. And I will be at Summer League if you guys want to meet me or even want to see me in general and kick it while we at Summer League. I will be there. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about this trade in the comment section below.